at the vet's office. And so sometimes the dogs are, trained when me and my owner are in the kitchen or in the backyard. I can do my tricks, but it's not generalizing into kind of fluency where I'm well behaved in all aspects of my life. And that just really comes down to the owner needing to be more disciplined and proactive in applying training and practicing training in new areas.
And do you also think that maybe a really big benefit that dog owners can also have and utilize from these resources is just being able to have more clear communication? Because it sounds like there's many of these situations where, the dog may just not know what is expected of them in that moment. So they just need to have a clear understanding of, where those boundaries or what is expected of me in this situation.
100%. And I think I would agree with you completely. And I think most people get a dog and they say, I'm going to get a dog because I want to go on walks in my neighborhood, or I want to, take the dog to brunch with me, or I envision my kids growing up with a dog. And so we have this kind of quintessential idea of the relationship we're going to have with the dog. And we start off strong. We start off committed. We're doing our house training. We're doing our crate training, then adolescence hits or something in life happens and we can't commit as much time as we once did. And so when that occurs, we sometimes see the training fall off. But, there's a saying that a trained dog is a free dog, meaning the more well-trained a dog is, the more well-behaved the dog is, the more likely they are to be integrated into their owner's life. They're going to walk in the neighborhood. They're going to go to friends and families for holidays. They're going to go to brunch. And that's really what we all want. Like, we all envision this kind of life with our dogs. And the more as owners that we can incorporate training, or we can work with a certified professional dog trainer through the CCPDT, it's really going to open up doors. It's going to strengthen our relationship with our dogs. It's going to allow them freedom and flexibility. We're going to enjoy them more because we're not going to be frustrated by their behavior. We're going to feel like we can take them places more frequently. And I think it's a win-win situation.
And even as you mentioned before too about the wholesome approach, because it sounds like from what I've heard, some of what would be described as poor behavior could just be signs on an imbalance too of the proper amount of exercise or attention or any of those other outlets.
Yeah, when a dog is misbehaving, let's say, there's always a reason. Or is it a dog, to your point, that wasn't exercised enough that day? Is it a dog who is just constantly in a state of arousal because he's allowed to live that way? Is it a dog who is uncomfortable because he's in a situation that he's frightened by? Or has he learned to be defensive around dogs because he's going to a daycare and getting bullied? And so then that starts to generalize into other areas of his life. There's always an underlying reason, and a certified professional dog trainer is going to really help you be able to determine, okay, what could be the function of this behavior? Is my dog bored so we can increase his exercise? Is this a lack of training? Could there be a possible medical problem that's contributing to my dog behaving, displaying aggressive behavior in certain situations? Is he just a little fearful and overwhelmed, so I need to maybe back off on how much exposure I'm giving him? We've always got to focus on what is the function of the behavior, and then from there we can create a training plan that really hits to the root of the reason the dog is, quote unquote, misbehaving.
I really do appreciate that, because honestly, you're right. You do advise that you said one of the great techniques too is just really thinking about, where are you getting those resources through?
Right. 100%. Yep. So search the CCPDT website, which is ccpdt.org, or they can go to fetchtheanswer.com. That is our consumer-facing website, and there are free training resources written by certified professional dog trainers. And there's also a trainer directory, so they can find consumers can find a trainer in their area that has been certified through the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers.
Yeah, and I do appreciate you really driving home that point, because it also just sounds like, we've learned a lot over the last few years, and there has been a lot of research on proper ways and updating techniques.
We are, I think, we're more and more people are really incorporating dog training as a mainstay. I mean, everyone does veterinary care, but I can see just from my career path how many more people are coming to me before they even acquire a dog. They say, okay, what type of dog is right for our home? We want to start on the front end, trying to prevent problems by getting the right dog. And then from there, they're really committing to programs. And when I was a young trainer, people would just do the puppy class and then that was it. But now we're seeing them do puppy class and adolescent class, and they're really integrating training as a way of life for them and their dog, so that the dog is really integrated into the family, which I think is really important.
Which actually I think is another really great point, because you're right. I've definitely discussed the conversation with several people when they're thinking about getting a dog and adding to their family. And I think that you're right. There's a lot of discussion and a lot of focus around breed, but maybe not. Like, do you feel that it should be elevated to the same level of like the types of trainings and the amount of energy that they're also going to when making that decision?
Yeah, I think before we get a dog, before we bring a dog into our home, we really have to assess how much time, energy, money do we have to care for this dog, right? If I work 12-hour days and I live in a condo, I'm probably not going to get an Australian cattle dog or herding breed type, right? That this may not be the right breed type for me, because what's going to happen is I'm going to end up doing the dog a disservice. The dog's going to be frustrated. His behavior is going to deteriorate. And then we're just going to snowball into a bad space. So I think we really do want to have an honest assessment about, we want to know how much time is it going to take for us to care for this dog, and then from there figure out what is the right breed type, or individual temperament for our lifestyle. And then you can make, because once you have the dog that fits into your life well, temperament and personality are paramount. It's going to be seamless. You're going to put in the time because you're so bonded to the dog. You're going to find the time to make sure that their well-being is fulfilled and they're exercised and they're trained, and it's going to be very rewarding. Did I answer that okay for you?
No, you did. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your insight. That is very excellent, because you're right. I think a lot of people just say, I've just heard, a lot of people go, I love dogs and I want something to love, and, then they think about like a breed, but they don't really think about all the aspects of lifestyle and energy and consistency.
Yeah. Well, that and the individual personality. We had a cattle dog when I was a kid. And I loved that dog. Well, you forget that mom stayed home and that she cared for the dog all day, or that you lived in the country then and he got to run more, or, that he had 3 kids to play with that evening. So like you forget some of the nuances that made your cattle dog as a child so great, right? And now you live alone and a condo. And so it's just a different, right? And so breed and breed type are important, but so is individual personality and temperament, because not every cattle dog is the same. Not every Labrador is the same. And so we really want to focus, as we kind of decide the type of dog we want, then we can start focusing more on narrowing it down to the individual dog.
Yeah. And then of course you're right, even lifestyle, because you're right. If we, work 12-hour days, 5-6 days a week, that's not going to necessarily work into that time frame either. With energy, because especially then after that 12-hour day, you're probably not have the energy levels to go around and run around.
Yeah, most people want to come home and lay on the couch a little bit. So but there is a dog out there for everyone if people want to commit to the process of raising a dog and finding the right one for their home and putting the time and effort into training and raising. And as those of us who share our lives with dogs know, it's a very rewarding and enriched experience. And I'll go back to the thing I've said before, that a certified professional dog trainer is going to have the knowledge and experience to really help you select a dog, train the dog, maintain the dog's behavior. In my business, we're constantly talking about we're just a part of your dog's caretaking team. You've got your veterinarian, you've got your groomer, you've got your dog trainer, you've got maybe your dog sitter, your dog walker, and so we're just a branch of your dog's caretaking team. And I think people are really embracing that idea.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that's excellent, especially because there, is a lot of care to go into, making that decision, but then also knowing that you're not going to be alone in it either.
Right. You've got support because no one goes into a relationship with the dog thinking, well, I'm going to be lazy and let this dog just, jump over my guest and dig in my flower pot and destroy my couch. Like no one goes into it with that mentality, but sometimes, we don't know. Mm-hmm. And we as owners need support. Look at other avenues. I have a trainer. I don't know what I don't know when it goes to working out. I know how to do push-ups and squats and, chin-ups, but I don't know how to integrate it all into a plan that's going to make me get abs or gain muscle or lose weight. I have to have that person on my caretaking team to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. So it's the same mentality.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. And it's okay. It's okay that we don't know everything.
Right, exactly.
That's a great headspace to be in. Well, thank you so much for all of your time. It was absolutely a pleasure getting to chat with you today.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity.
I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Thanks for tuning into the show on your favorite local radio station. You can now listen to this